In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to go from this to this. Let the merrymaking begin. So first thing, let's get our armor out. Next, I want to make sure that it's nice and clean. So last year, we left some dirt and grime on our panel, but we're going to take care of that right now. It's really important to get all the edges and corners really nice and clean, especially if you have been handling them, you have any spaces around those areas where you have fingerprints or fingerprint oils. Next, I'm going to use a lint-free tea towel, and I'm just going to pat and wipe down the excess water on my panel. Beautiful. Next, I want to make sure that when my panels are being washed, that I get that squeaky clean sound. Now I'm patting them dry because I'm going to put them back in the carry bag to take them down to the Jeep. I want to make sure that every panel is nice and clean and all the sheets are nice and clean. All right, now that I've got my ugly sweater armor ready to go, I'm going to take my old panels off. Now I'm going to show you really carefully and in real time how to take the big driver's door panel off. This is usually the hardest panel to take off. Now I peel back some edges and I make a vertical line. And all I do is just get a good hold in the center and just lean back. This takes a little time, but patience is definitely key. When I get to areas, weak areas, such as around the handles or the hinges, I'm going to slow down. Instead of pulling the whole length of the panel, I'm going to delicately peel back that section, make sure again I have my vertical line, and all I'm going to do is just lean back and let gravity help pull this panel off. You don't need that much strength, and you definitely don't want to pull the panel back on itself because that could cause damage such as creasing. Now, this takes a little patience, but you can see it's coming along and it's pulling off really nicely. Now, if you do get a little impatient or you do feel like you're not moving as quickly, you can very gently walk the panel off. And what I mean by walk the panel off is as I'm pulling back, I apply a tiny bit of pressure to either the top or the bottom. And in essence, it kind of makes it like a walking movement as you see right now. This helps move it along a little bit faster. Patience. All right, now I'm nearing the end of pulling the panel off. And instead of just ripping off the area, at the end, I'm going to use my hands to delicately peel back that part of the panel so that there's no stretch, no pull, and no tearing. Voila, panel off. And that took only about a minute. All right, next I'm going to install the ugly sweater driver's front door panel, and I'm going to show you this in real time again so we can walk through all the little technique parts of getting this installed really nicely by yourself without having to keep pulling it back. So first, I'm going to line it up to something like the handle, and then I'm going to delicately touch just one part of the panel. That's all you need to get it to stick. Next, I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to line up the area but the hinges, and I'm going to give it a press. Now there's only two small spots that are holding this panel in place. Next, grab your microfiber cloth and start pressing down one side. Pull back the other side. Now don't grab it by the edges or the corners. Anywhere in that long flat part, you can put your hand over there. The reason for that is you don't want fingerprint oils in the delicate areas of edges and corners. Next, use your microfiber cloth and press out all the air bubbles while you let the panel lay on the vehicle. Give it one more rub just to make sure everything is nice and flush and nicely installed, and there you go. Now for the next parts of the panel install, I'm going to speed that up a little bit because you kind of get the gist, but it's the exact same process of don't touch the edges, or I'm sorry, don't touch the corners, touch by the edges. Any of the big panels, you can definitely put your fingerprints all over, the big parts of it, but don't put them on the corners or the edges because that is where you'll deposit fingerprint oils and potentially that part of it may lift. Now the total elapsed time of installing one side was roughly about 10 minutes. Now how I have the panels laid out in my carry bag is there's 3 different lengths of panels, and I start with the longest parts of the panels because they're designed for the JT. So I have my truck bed panels in the very back, and I have the driver's side on one sheet and I have the passenger side on the other sheet, which makes it really easy to do one side at a time. All right, now here's an important thing. When you are wiping down your vehicle, also wipe down the fenders or any part that your panel could come in contact with. The reason for that is you don't want it to press into a dirty part and then pick up all the dirty part on the sticky part of the panel. So what I've done here is because I'm installing a big panel by myself, I allowed one part of it to stick to the vehicle, and then this way it's hands-free on the whole one side and I can just focus on lining it up on the one. Now with these truck bed panels, it's super important to install them high on the truck bed. It almost seems like a little too high, but right at the edge before it really curves under the top. And there you go. You've got the side installed and it looks wonderful. Okay, now to speed this up again, I put my previous set back into the same carry bag, and now I'm going to secure it and put it away for the holiday season. The carry bag does really quick work of putting your armor away, giving it a safe place to stay nice and clean, and the beautiful part is you can either store it vertically or you can pop it up horizontally, and it roughly is the size of a large camping chair or a camping tent. And that's it, ready for merrymaking.